All right, I'm back. This is our second exercise video in Revit. Little practice exercise in families, creating a family and massing elements. Sometimes when we model things, we're just looking to make a mass that's an accurate size. And one of the ways we do that is by extruding shapes and making these up. We're going to use the shape files, and again, it's another file I've uploaded to the Blackboard site. Eventually you'll get all of these. You can go in online and actually download them yourself if you want to. It's quite a bit of material. And we're just going to grab this shapes RFA file. And remember, this is a family, so it's not like the complete access. This is just a place where we're going to do some modeling. And they've already drawn some shapes on here. So the first thing they want to do is, and this is on page, starts on page 2-2, is we're going to select this first shape right here, and it should show up with all the handles. And all you have to do is come up here and say create form, either as a solid or a void. Now a solid form is actually going to be a positive. It's actually going to create an object. A void is actually going to create a hollow shape in something. So if I just left click on this, there's my void, and you'll notice it already had set it for 1 foot. In this 3D model, you can see we've got this wheel now too, so I can look at it from the top view. I can look at it from the east side. So we can see on this east side, we've got a height of 30 feet. I thought it was a foot, it's actually 30 feet. So if I wanted to change the height of this, I can grab this handle and I can pull it up. You'll notice as I pull it, the dimensions change. It actually is configured to change the dimension. Or I can just left click on this dimension and say I want this to be 45 feet, and it will automatically adjust the size for me. So it's very easy to use in that direction. So just creating a rectangular form, we'll just go here and take a look. There it is in perspective. Or I can just come back up here to home and it will bring it back in place. As soon as you move your mouse near here, it gives you the home page. There it is. A little bit backwards. So the next item they want to show you is a revolution. Very easy. We've got two shapes here. You have to hold down your control key, or you can select the first one and then hold down the control key and select the second one. And all you do is come here and say create form as a solid. Now what it's going to do is it's going to take that line as a pivot point, and it's actually going to wrap it 360 degrees around that. So that shape is actually spun around to make this spool looking shape here. Okay? So again, we can look at it from different directions. Here's another one. We want to create a solid of these are just 3 arcs. So if I left click on this one, hold down the control key, left click on this one, and left click on this one, now we can say create form, solid, and it will actually create that form around that. It's just kind of a sheet. And if we zoom in on this little bugger down here, we have a line, continuous line, and a circle. So if I select the circle, hold down the control key and select the line, and come up here and say create form, solid form, it'll actually create that as a pipe. So try all of those items together, just like a little 3-step option to create those things, and see how well it works. Now, let me show you some. The book wants you to actually try some of these things on your own. So let's play around with this just a little bit. And one of the things to do with creating a conceptual mass is being able to set working planes. You notice these dotted lines here are all working planes that we're working in. There's 1 level, 2 levels. We've got a plane here. We've got a plane here. Let's actually create a new one. We'll just say File, New. Oops. File, New, Family. Sorry. jump too quickly. And we'll just use a generic model. Say adaptive. And we can look at this from the top view. We can see that we have just two planes, this plane and this plane. So let's create some additional planes. So if I come here to this point, I can create a reference plane. I want to make sure I'm just working on the reference plane. So you can see I'm in reference level, front, back, left, right. I want this one. This is my plan view. And all you're doing is just, you're going to draw a line here, and we'll draw a line here, and we'll draw a line here. Whoops, I want it crooked. I want my planes to be nice and straight. And we'll draw another one here. Let's say I want these all to be equally spaced, okay? So what I want to do is I'm just going to dimension these things. Oh, it's hard to see. You notice you got a scale down here now, so let's try it at 1 to 1. Does that make it any bigger? 1 inch equals, there we go. 1 inch equals 20 feet. So now we can take that dimension off. And I'm just going to go line to line to line to line to line. Bring it out. And you notice a little equal sign? If I click on this, they're all different sizes now, right? Click it. Now they're all equal. No matter what the spacing is, they're going to stay equal because I've lined them up that way. Let's create some vertical planes now. And so we're going to change this to a front view. So here's our one plane we have in here. So let's create a new plane. And again, I'll just draw one across here, one across here, and one across here. I'll leave those kind of spaced the way they are right now. We'll go back to our reference plane, our floor plan, and let's give each one of these a name. If I click on this one, I'm going to name it number 1. Click this one, we'll give it a name of 2. Click this one. Oh, that's the front, center, front, back. That's already got a name. So this one will be, we'll call it 4, and then we'll call this one 5. All right, so now let's do some modeling, and we'll go to our front view. And we'll work off this bottom. So I'm going to create just a spline. And I want a plane, I want it in reference plane 1. Okay? And just start down here at the bottom. And just start drawing some crazy stuff. Just some curved lines. We'll stop right there. Hit cancel. All right. Now let's create another one. Reference plane is going to be number 2. So this one, same thing. Just going to start anywhere here and just draw some more crazy lines. Think about a boat hull. Wouldn't be as crazy as this. And we'll go to reference. Let's go center. That's the middle line. And I'll just come out here a little further. I'm just going to make this one kind of a little wide out here on this side. So that one's kind of weird looking. And next one we'll do on plane 4. I'll start in here nice and narrow. This is going to be strange. Okay. And lastly, we'll do plane 5. And I'll pull this one back out, and we'll kind of just do a little shorty here and see what happens. Now, sometimes these are mathematically impossible to do, but let's take a look at it in the three-dimensional view now. Actually, go back to our home view. There we go. So, wow, is this going to work? So if I wanted to make all of these shapes one surface, and if I click this one, hold down the control key, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and I hit create form, solid. Whoa! So it actually did it. You can see that it created this sheet blanket now. It traced all of those lines and created a draped blanket. So imagine if you were trying to model something relatively fluid or what do we call it? I want to say earthy, but natural. You can create these flows by just creating these lines and connect them together to make these nice flowing blankets on top of everything else. Okay. We can actually take it out of there. And it actually took the lines with it, so it's a good thing. All right, so now let's try something else. Let's try one of these following along a path. So if I go to my reference plane view again, and this time we'll I want to create a reference plane along this side. So we'll create a plane. And we'll go right here. And oops, there's my views. So let's create a circle. And the plane I want to be on is plane number 1. Which is right there. And I'll just see if I can so that's plane number 1. Let's look at it in front view and see where that circle is. And it's kind of off the plane. Try it again. I want to be able to do it. So we're in reference plane 1. And I'll just do this little 1-foot circle. Okay? Hit escape. And that was on plane 1. And I want to draw. Is this line got a... We'll give this a name and call it level 2. Okay, and we'll go to our reference plan, or actually just go to our 3D view. Click top. There's our little circles right there. And I want to draw another serpentine line, and I want it to be on reference plane level 2. I'm just going to start a line. We'll come out here ways, and we'll start bending this around. So imagine this is a piece of pipe that we need to bend. Okay. So we go back here and let's look at our home page. And what we want to do is we want to select, hit escape. We're going to select our line, select our curve, create form, solid. Ooh, that ain't right. There we go. I didn't have the control key down. So now you can see we've created this nice round snake. It's actually laying flat at that second level. It's a way to make something that's relatively complicated. Now if I just left click on this, I can actually pull things up even in these shapes. And I don't know whether we could change the radius. If I want to make it bigger, let's say I want it 2 feet instead of 1. I can actually increase the size of that snake. Do it on both ends. Wow, it tapered it. Nice. So if I did this one, it only picked up the circle on the end, so it actually created that taper. Let's try it again. And let's try it at 4 feet. Unable to do it. So there's one of those mathematical, but we're always, there we go. So even that, we can create this tapered look by doing it that way. So I didn't even know we could do that. So there's all different ways to do this. We can show it in a fine mode and realistic. So what happens if I want to make this look like it's shiny metal? If I go here, select the object, try to anyway, wants to do 2 halves. All right, we'll select the whole thing. We're going to go to material. We'll select by category. So this is per unit. We can make different things looks like different material. So we don't have a lot here, but I can click this little item here and let's create a piece of material. And we'll just right click and say duplicate this one. And we're going to call this one snake metal. We're going to pull up here's some different types of materials. So if I look at this one, I can see should have metal here. So if I want it to look like something shiny, polished, let's see what else we got. Satin, brass, polished brass. So there it is. So I hit apply and hit OK. Now when we turn this off, you can see I've got polished brass, and if I actually were able to put that in the light, we'd actually be able to see that the light reflecting off it. So when we actually put this into a model, we'd be able to actually see the light showing up on the material and looking like brass or wood. If I want to make it look like wood, we'll select it again. Whoops. We're not keeping this, so just as well. And we'll click this. And let's see what else we have. We'll right click on this and say duplicate. Let's make it wood. And let's go look for some wood material. And by the way, you can actually create your own materials too. These are just JPEG images. We'll go to wood and say we want to be something with a nice grain. How about an oak? No oaks? Red oak right here. Low gloss. There it is. Hit apply. Okay. And now when we render this realistic, probably not big enough. Yeah, you can see the wood grain. It's just so zoomed out, so big, it's actually a big piece, so you can't really see it. So again, it's just a nice way to create a model. So when we're all done with this, we could take this and let's say well, let's getting back to our house. We got this piece, not sure what it is or how big it is, but let's just say File, Save, and let's save it as, we'll put it in a family. I better put it in generic. You can see there's all these different families down here. So do we have a generic or window tags? Oh, this is the book files anyway, so let's just put it on the desktop in my, yeah, I'll put it in that folder. We'll just call it snake pipe. Okay, so we got this piece now. Let's go ahead and open up our basic project again, the one we opened up in the first video. And we'll go to let's go to our site plan. And let's load a component. I want to place a component on here, which is another name for a family. So I'm going to say load the family. You say, okay, go to my desktop, look in my Revit Basics, and I should have a thing here called snake pipe. Hit open. There it is. The snake that ate my house. So we'll place it right here. Right click. Oops, disappear. It's up in the air. So I'm going to escape. I'll say cancel. We'll pull this up. So we got a flying snake now. Go to our 3D view. And then we'll pull this around. There's the snake. And we'll pull it down so it's a little closer to the ground. We'll turn the shadows on. Let me take a look at a north view on this thing. There it is, way up in the air. So we'll just grab it here. And that's the great thing, you can move this from any view. We'll kind of set it right down here. We'll kind of bury it in the ground just a little bit. Now I'll go back to our 3D view. There it is. Still setting in that hole a little bit. And if I render this as a realistic piece, there it is, shows up as wood. So if we actually zoom in on this piece now, we can see it's still showing that grainy red oak wood. So that's how easy it is to create objects. And just getting in here and playing around, you're going to learn things. You're going to, think about being able to build accurate models based on specifications of items, heaters, radiators, light fixtures. You can go online and find a number of manufacturers that have created RFA families for you that you can just place into your models, and we'll be using those throughout. So play around with those. There's a few little exercises in the book on creating conceptual models, and what we're going to do is on our first lab, we'll actually start working on some of these massing models and creating some families that we'll be able to use in our finished project when we're done. So go through chapters 1 and 2, play around with those things. I think, trying to see, if you get halfway through chapter 2, you should be good. And then we'll start playing around with the other half of chapter 2 in lab on Monday. So keep that in mind. Play around with it. You shouldn't get into too much trouble. You can always delete the file if you mess it up. And Revit always backs things up. When you open up the next Revit model, it's actually going to create a backup of the old model so you don't lose anything. So number one, make sure your Revit is working properly. Bring up these template files, and again, I've placed them in the Blackboard site. They should be where you found this video, and download them to your desktop in a folder where you'll recognize them. Call them my Revit textbook files, And we're going to use these as bases for starting some of our new projects in the textbook. We are going to be following this textbook pretty closely all the way through unless we get off on a tangent, but for the most part, the chapters in this book build one on the other, so as they build one thing, the next lesson will actually add to that. So we're going to end up with a fully complete building by the end of the semester, hopefully. See how far we get. We should be able to get it fully complete and ready to go by the end of the semester, so you'll be able to produce some drawings that are going to be pretty effective. All right, thanks. I'm off.